Hello friend, it's Tonton. In today's video we're gonna talk about heroes. We're gonna start with the kind of the overall philosophy that I have with heroes and a bit talking about Gen 1. So it's gonna be a Gen 1 guide that will lead to a Gen 1, 2, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, etc. So many people have been asking. Most question I have is about heroes, so I'm kind of dwelling about how to tackle that. I have many ideas about videos to make, but we cover from the basic. We'll start from the beginning. So if you have any new players that you know, if you are starting over, that will be helpful. But by setting the foundation, like most of them, you can answer the question yourself. So when you start the game, you have a bunch of blue heroes that are mostly gatherers, but you can use them in some situation. And then you have epic heroes. And then you have S1, SSR heroes that are like the golden one, right? The orange one. So you have the blue, the purple, and the orange. What are the hero doing, right? They have two types of skill. On the right, it's called expedition. So that the skill is explained here. If you have a doubt, right? Expedition is when you are in the wilderness. So that's when you are going outside of your city. So if I'm sending a hero to attack a beast nearby or a polar terror or whatever, that is expedition. I'm going outside of my city. If I gather, that's expedition and stuff like that. So if I play on Sunfire Castle, it's expedition. If I attack a player, it's expedition. All of that. So that's the basic. And the other one they have, it's exploration, which is explicitly arena and exploration, right? So arena and exploration is that game mode that you have at the bottom left, where you have 5 heroes that are fighting versus each other. And that's arena when you have 5 versus heroes fighting against another player. So that's the two biggest kind of differences you have between the skills. If you look at your heroes very quickly, you can see they have a tiny bit of a description here, right? You see, if you zoom on them and you scroll through them one by one, that's a green building kind of tool, right? So all the heroes that have utility in expedition, they have that kind of things. So it does not mean they don't have fighting skill, but that means they have less good fighting skill. So if you look at your blue heroes, it's increasing coal income or food income or wood income or whatever income and gathering speed. So if you send them attacking a polar terror, if you send them attacking a beast, they give you 0 skills that is damaging an enemy. If you compare to Patrick, for example, that is one of the first purple hero you have. Patrick is upgrading health and is upgrading attack up. So you have more health and you have more attack. So a Patrick versus a Charlie, Patrick is 3-4 times better as well because he's, purple instead of blue. And so each heroes are giving you some stats, as you can see. All of mine are max, so you can see that the maximum, but the exploration stats are for arena and exploration, and expedition is the percentage of stat that they give you. So by default, they give you attack and defense. So if you compare a Gen 1 hero versus a blue versus a purple one, you see the blue was giving you 90 and the purple is giving you 140, and purple has more of these. And if you compare them against Molly, for example, that's a Gen 1 as well, you can ignore the lethality and the health because it's coming from the gear and the widgets. But if you look at the stats, she's giving you 200 instead of 140 for a purple or 90 for a blue. So she's twice better than a blue in terms of stat. Plus, on top of that, when they are SSR, when they are orange, they have 3 skills. And these, as you can see, Molly is a fighter. She has that little thing. You have some heroes that are mixed, and that's notably Jasser, See-yoon, and Lingwu. Because they have the little icon that say that they are growth heroes, but that's because they have one skill that is growth. So Lingwu is doing training speeds, but she has a fighting skill that's reducing damage. Then Bokan is okay. Jasser is improving your research speed, so that's really, really important. And our friend See-yoon, she's increasing healing speed, so that's really important. So that's kind of some very basic stuff. Most of you know that. Something maybe to mention about Gen 1 is Gina is kind of in between as well. She's marked as fighter, but she's reducing the cost of stamina and she's increasing the movement speed in the wilderness. So she has no skill that are doing damage or boosting your stats. So Gina is actually really bad when it comes to attacking a player, attacking a castle, attacking a fortress, attacking a stronghold. She's really, really bad because she does not have the skills. And if you look at Gina, the other purple, they have 140. So she's a bit of a weaker hero. And at the same time, that will be the first one I advise you to do today. And we will talk about it why in a moment. So when you start the game, you have these 4 heroes that are the blue one. They will progress quite slowly. You might use them for the first week. If you're a free-to-play player, you might use them maybe for 10 days-ish, but that will be it. Then you will replay them. You will use them together. You will send them out of your city together. You always want to gather with one of these. So if you have Fine March, you want to gather, you want to send Cloris to the food, Charlie to the whatever, to the coal, Smith to the iron, and you want to send Eugene to the wood, right? Because he's buffing the wood. So you want to send them. The game does it automatically. Everyone knows that by now, but just in case. When you select meat, you send, she's already gathering, right? So but if I would do that and she was not gathering, it would put her here. So that's very basic stuff. So blue have less stats than purple. Within the purple, Gina has a bit less stats. And then you get Molly that everyone can get. Then you get Deanman that everyone can get as well, but he's not very good. And you get Molly and you get Molly Deanman. Then you get Natalia and Geronimo, which are spender heroes in Gen 1. So they are at the bottom for me. I spent a tiny bit on them, but they are here. So you get all of these heroes. So let's talk a bit more what is interesting and what you are probably here. So the way you have 2 things to consider. You have arena and exploration where you need 5 heroes, and you have your marches when you attack a beast or when you attack an opponent when you have 3 heroes. You have the rally joiner, but that's another topic for now, but that's the 2 kind of setup you have. When you attack here, you will want to have, you must have 1 infantry, 1 lancer, and 1 marksman, right? You can have 1 of each. When you do arena or when you do exploration, you can have many. You can do all infantry if you want. You can do all infantry lancers. You can do whatever you want here. You just need to find a combination that works. Often what works is something like that. Is 2 infantry, 2 marksmen, 1 lancer. That will be true for 95% of the game. There are exceptions where in the beginning, actually, you could play something like, because you have, let's say you have Sergei. So let's say you have Jesse, Patrick, Molly, that's really good. Then you will have Sergei, that's free to play, and you will have Gina because and you can, very early days, you can try strategy with 3 lancers if you have Patrick, because Patrick, he's having a buff, a skill that is healing others, right? So because he's healing others and lancers are kind of doing damage and tanking, you could find yourself in a situation where you could do something like that. 3 lancers, 1 marksman, 1 infantry. You just want to do that with the skill. You don't want to invest in the gear because that's going to be a very temporary setup. But else you will want to have 2 infantry, 2 marksmen, 1 lancer. So that will be kind of guiding our choice most of the time. In Gen 1, if you follow my guide and if you play well, you will find out one thing, is that the purple hero, you will have 3 or 4 that will go very slow. So you will have See-yoon, Jasser, Lumak Bokan, and Lingwu that will go very slow. You get 70% less shard than the other one. So you will get a lot more Patrick, a lot more Bahiti, a lot more Jesse, a lot more Sergei. Why that is like when the game released, these heroes were not in the game. So Lingwu, Bokan, Jasser, See-yoon, they were not in the game. These have been additions that they've made later, and you get them, and they are very strong as well. So they're actually quite efficient, but the issue is you cannot really play with them unless you are a spender. You cannot really play with them at the beginning because they are just developing too slow. So you don't want to invest too much in your blue hero to fight because they're gonna be soon. Just level them up normally. You don't have to do anything special. You would just have to replay them after a week or something. The blue hero gonna fade out. In the purple, there are 4 of them you're not going to be able to develop. So maybe the first week, if you get lucky and you get a lot of shards for 1 from the keys or something, maybe you will use 1 for a while, but that's not going to last. So your option is, what are they? If you want 3 heroes solid for your march, and if you want 5 solid for arena and exploration, you will get Molly. Molly is a free-to-play hero. Everyone will get her. So you will get Molly. That's a very good hero. So that's your first and only lancer you need. Progression will be a bit slow, but she's strong enough to be there. That's likely what you will use. Then you need infantry. That's really important. The main one you will get is Sergei as a free-to-play. Sergei is very strong. He has good skill, you know, on both sides, in exploration and in expedition, right? So Sergei, so you have Molly, Sergei. Then you will have to need 2 marksmen. The way it works is you have an event to get Gina's shard. Is a bit of a special event. The other heroes, you will get shard doing intel missions that you get 3 times a day here, and you will get them from the keys. You will get them from the keys here. You will get some of them. But Gina, you don't. Gina, there is an event that during the event, when you kill beast, so this one, not the polar terror, but the beast, these ones, you get a horn, and when you use the horn in summoning a monster, when you kill the monster, it's giving you Gina shard. And if you optimize for that, you will basically get Gina to 5 stars. When you don't have Sergei, you don't have Baiti, you don't have the other one that are progressing that fast, they won't be even 4 stars if you do that really well. So the way it works is like when there is the event for Gina, you do your intel mission, you do your 10 horns because you get free Gina shard for that, and then you only do beast. You don't do polar terror, you don't do more than 10 horns for Gina over the 3-4 days that the event lasts, you just do beast. So you during the Gina's event, you are accumulating enough horns. So at the end of the events, we have a bit of a different event, but you get the idea. For us, it's a Reaper, and that's giving other shard, but that will be that kind of item that you have in your bag. Instead, it will be a horn. When you click on it, it's summoning a monster, and you can attack him, right? And in here, you will see it's giving you Gina's shard. So when you do that, so you will collect these during the Gina's event. You will do 10 of these to get free 10 Gina shard, which is good. And then outside of the Gina event, you will summon these one by one, and you will kill these. So you will have kind of 2 phases. And at the beginning, you do not care about polar terror because the first level of polar terrors are giving very poor rewards. So you will want to focus on Gina because you will get a very strong hero very, very soon compared to everybody else, because most people don't do that. And I tested that recently. I've made a new city on set 3054. I had Gina before everybody else nearly. And I was stronger than in arena and everything. Because while Gina, we've seen she is a bit weaker than the other purple, she does not do good in expedition when it comes to fighting. She has very good skill when it comes to exploration. She's just a tiny bit weaker than the other purple. But because she will be 5 stars and the other will be not even 4 stars, she will be a lot stronger until the other are catching up, right? So in arena and in exploration, you will be a lot stronger with a very strong Gina. And at the same time, you will be able to use her to do your beast, to do your horns, to do your polar terror, whatever you do, to have a reduced cost of stamina. So your intel mission. So you will save stamina, you will be able to do more of it every day, and you will be ahead. So very important to unlock Gina this way. So during the event, you do beast and you do 10 horns, and you accumulate, I could accumulate to 25 to 40 horns between the Gina's event, and I will use them after the event. And because you get that event very often, that's kind of the cycle you go through as a newbie. Then, so you have your first marksman sorted, right? You have your Molly that will progress quite slowly, but you will get there. You can use a tiny bit on SSR shards on Molly, but I will mostly save them for Gen 2, because you will want to do Alonso in Gen 2, and that's for the next video, but you will want to save most of them for Gen 2, so you will want to save some. So you can, if you need 15 shard to increase like a tiny shard, and you have 13 and you want to make points on an event, then use 2 SSR shards, something like that. Use a tiny bit, but not too much. So you have Molly, Sergei, Gina. So that's perfect for your doing your polar terrors, for doing your horns, for doing your intel missions. All of that is perfect. It's very good for arena as well and for expedition, but you need 5 heroes. And when you fight, Gina is very bad, so you will need a replacement. So naturally, you will go to Baiti. Baiti is a very good marksman hero as a beginner. You will have him, he will progress quite quick. And then you will be able to, when you fight, you will be able to replace Gina by Baiti, basically. And that will get you better results. So if you attack a player, if you are getting resources, if you do Foundry, if you do Frost Fireman and you attack someone, then you can have Sergei, Baiti, Molly, and that will be a very, very good basis. And in your arena, then you will have Sergei, Molly, Gina, Baiti. That will be your 3 next one you want. The 4 hero you want to use. For the last hero, you already have 2 marksmen, 1 infantry, 1 lancers. It depends a bit. For a while, you might use a smith and a Jin for arena and exploration because they still have fighting skills. They have 2 instead of 3, so they are not as good. But for the first, 10 days, maybe a few weeks, if you're a bit lucky with these, you might be using these as a second arena hero. Else, you use the second one best you got. Often it will be Jesse, it could be Patrick. Both of them are okay. You will want to level them because they will be useful. They will be useful in different scenarios. But that's kind of your baseline in Gen 1. And you want a strong lineup for your March. And again, that's Baiti, Sergey, Molly. You want a strong lineup for your Arena. And that will be Sergey, Molly, Gina, Baiti, and then whichever is complementary, whether Jesse and Patrick. You will see guides online that will tell you to do one of these, right? They will you to do Lingmu, to do Lumak Bokan, to do Jesser, to do See-yoon. These you will get so little shards that they often not worth it. If you're a spender, you will have an event, maybe after 2 weeks in the game or 10 days, that will get you a lot more shard of these heroes. So eventually, if you're a spender and you buy that pack, that, you know, it's like a pack that gives you rewards every day for a while, and, you know, you will get, I forgot which order, but you will get first a lot of shard for See-yoon, then a lot of shard for Jasser, something like that, right? You will get a lot of shard for a few days for one hero, then it will move on to the next one. If you buy that pack and you have one of them that is kind of at the level of Jesse, at the level of Patrick, then you can consider using them. If they are 2 stars and your Patrick is close to 4 stars, use your Patrick. Same with your Jesse. So that's kind of your basic lineup to play the game. What you will want to level up as well, you will want to level up Jesse to 4 stars and Patrick to 4 stars. Why of that? It's because when you join a rally, you are sharing your fur expedition skill. You are sharing that with the rally leader. And Jesse is one of the best in the game. It's 25% more damage. And that will be shared with the rally leader. So when you do bear trap, when you attack a player, when you are playing offensively, you will want a Jesse in the rally, and you will see that your R4s, R5, they will ask you to have Jesse. Patrick, on the other way, it's increasing health, right? So the troops have 4 stats: attack, defense, lethality, health. So Patrick is boosting one of them, which is the most important for defense on your infantry. So it's really, really important. And to get the skill level 5, you will want them to get 4 stars. So that's something you might want to do. You don't use any of the purple shards that you get that are like the SSR ones. So that are these ones, the general ones. Sorry, not the SSR, but the general ones. I've seen them. They are here. So you don't want to use any of these on Gina. What you want to do, you want to use a tiny bit of these on Molly, and you will want to start to accumulate for Gen 2. So don't go all in on Molly. But help her progress a bit faster if you need to. These you can use on any blue hero of your choice. Maybe infantry will be the best to start with. So you don't use any of these on Gina. You will use these a bit on Sergey, because it will be your main infantry hero, so you will want to use a bit on Sergey. Then you will want to use them on Jesse and Patrick. Something to consider as well with these SSR shards is because you get very little of the 4 heroes we've seen. So Lingmu, you might want to have her 2 to 3 stars very quick. 2 to 3 stars, because you will get training speed. And that's 4%, that's quite big. So, you know, if you get 12% training speed soon, that's a bit of a help. And if she's 2 stars, you will get access to level 3 skills. So, you know, you get +1. So 4 stars, level 5 skill, 3 star, level 4 skill, 2 stars, level 3 skills, and stuff like that. So you will want to have her a bit. One that's really important is Jasser, because he is increasing your research speed. So same, you will want to have him. Jasser is one of the heroes that you will use to join a rally, because he has the damage up like Jesse. It's just that Jesse's key, people have Jesse sooner because you get more shards. The game gives you more shards, so people are just using Jesse instead of Jasser. But Jasser is as good as Jesse. It's damage up 25%. It's just the same as Jesse. So that's something you will want to level up, because on Bear, on events when you can join multiple rallies, you will want to boost the rally leaders, right? So you will send one, you will send with Jesse, and then at some point you will send one with Jesser. My city on 3054 is nearly 3 months old, and these skills are level 3 or 4, you know, on these heroes, because they are not even 4 stars yet. So you see, we are middle of Gen 2, and these heroes are not 4 star yet. So they are going very, very slow. And you will want to do the same here, because she is doing healing speed and she is buffing damage. So See-yoon, Jasser, Jesse are the 3 heroes that are buffing, that you will use to join rallies, and that will buff the others. So you might want to use a bit of general shards on these to get them to 3 stars, for example. When you get them all to 3 stars, the way I've done it myself is like, I got Sergey, I got Bahiti, and I got Jesse and Patrick to 4 stars. a bit above 4 stars even. They were closer to 5 stars. Gina was 5 stars. Molly was 3 to 4 stars. And then I basically, when these were 4 star plus, I started to use some of my general shards on Jasser to get the research speed first, then on Lingwu to get the training speed, and then finally on See-yoon to get the research speed, right? So I have them to go to 3 stars, and then you can go back to finish Sergey, finish Jesse, finish Patrick, finish Baiti. So maybe Patrick and Baiti first. No, Sergey and Baiti first, actually. And then you consider, if you use them, you can consider Jesse and Patrick, or else you go to these. One I did not talk about, and you get with the lucky wheel, is our friend Dinman. Dinman, you will see the Welsh with him, and if he is maxed out, he's actually a bit better than Bahiti, but that's impossible for a free-to-play or for a load spender to max Dinman. It's gonna, Gen 1 is only 60 days, so it's very short. Other generations are between 80 to 100 days. So you get him from the lucky wheel when you spin the wheel, and you get a lot less lucky wheels in Gen 1, and when they arrive, because you are free to play, because you are a new player or you are a low spender, you don't have the gems to spend the wheel enough to get him. So you will get him to 2 or 3 stars, and that's okay. And you will barely use him for fighting, because I mean, he has the defense up, health up, but because he's gonna be 2 or 3 stars, he's gonna be very low. You basically just want to level up Dinman to get that, and that will be a priority. So when you have the I made a video about how to manage your gems and how to manage that for free-to-play player when you start the game, so that's another topic, but you will want him to 2 or 3 stars to access to the skill that is level 3 or 4 to really help you rush to Furnace 30. And that means saving a bit your gem, that means going to VIP 2, spending some gems to get to VIP 2, then saving your gems for the lucky wheel every time, so it's every 2 weeks to the lucky wheel, so you will accumulate gems for 2 weeks, and you will spin the wheel 70 times on the lucky wheel to get the shards to progress him, and you will do that 2 or 3 times. That will get him to 2 or 3 stars, and that's gonna be good enough. You will forget about Dinman. It's just gonna help you develop. And that's where you are with Gen 1. So you are starting with Gen 1, you save some charm for some general SSR shards from our friend Alonso in Gen 2. You have your Sergey, that's good. You have your Molly, that's on the way. She will be 3 to 4 stars in Gen 2. You will have your Gina, that's 5 stars and maxed out. That's gonna be really good. And then, you know, your Baiti will be a bit behind. You will have another hero that you might focusing on, that's Patrick or Jesse, but by then you will want to have them 4 star for your SVS or local Sunfire Castle. And then the other one, they will be lagging behind a bit. These will be 2 to 3 stars at the end of Gen 1. These will be 3 to 4 stars, and you know, they will be not used for battle. All of these will be used to basically boost your, you know, your research speed, your gathering, your training speed, all of that. They will be kind of in the background. You're not gonna use them unless when you fight in Frostfireman and then you send out 6 marches, you're gonna use all your heroes, but they're gonna be too behind and weak enough that if you fight against the main march of someone else, you're not gonna win, right? If you send your 2-star Jesser with your 2-star Lumak Bokan and with your 2-star or with your 3 or 4-star Smith versus someone that has Molly, Bahiti, and Sergey that are, you know, 4 to 5 stars, you're gonna get smashed anyway, right? You're gonna get, you know, you're not gonna win. So you don't have to stress too much about that. They're lagging behind. You will have maxed them by Gen 3 or 4, actually. It takes quite a while to max everything. Like all these blues, all these purple heroes, you will have them maxed by Gen 3 or 4, and they will be kind of obsolete by now anyhow. So that's just the design of the game, the way it is. I don't think that's the best thing. I think these should be maxed by the end of Gen 1. Somehow you should get a lot more shard, maybe Gen 1 and then less later. So you have a chance to choose the heroes you want to use. If I wanted to make that video, if I see many guides telling you to use heroes that are, you can not actually have them, right? They look better on paper than a Gina, for example. If you look at a Jasser or at a See-yoon, okay, they might be Gina on paper, but you will have a Gina 5-star and you will have a Jasser 2-star. And that's a no match. Like the last stars, the last one is giving you the most stats, because that's, to get to 4 star, it's costing 475 shards. To get the last star, it's 600 shards. So to do 4 stars, you need less than half than what's needed in total. So you get a lot more of the power on the last star and the last 600 gems. So that's really shards. So that's really important to understand. So that's why you want to rush that Gina and to get the other to 4 stars, and it's gonna work for you. And then we'll talk about Gen 2 a bit later, but that's kind of where you are at the end of Gen 1. That's your progress, that's your focus. You have a good arena, you have a good solo march, you are sorted and you can do a lot in the game. Let me know in the comment if that kind of video is useful or you wish you had them when you started the game, because many of you don't need it anymore. But if you know new players, please share it with your alliance, share it with them. And I'll keep going, with Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6, Gen 7, and all of that. Maybe just one thing before we close off. I just want to show you that. That's on my Discord. I have made these guides, so you can go on my guide list. On my guide list, you look at the general guides, you find the heroes one, and you will have many information. And I've made 3 recommendations wherever you are in the game. The first one is rotation for like very active and low spenders to free to play. So that's the heroes you should take starting in Gen 2. So it's kind of lacking Gen 10 to 12 because I'm not there yet. So I did not give too much thought of it, but that's the hero I will suggest to get. And I have made another version which is a bit more chill, like for free to play, or if you don't play as seriously, if you are missing some events, you are not pushing very hard on stuff, that there is a bit less heroes. So that's really like a chill free to play list of heroes you can do per generation. And then the last one is, if I will start the game over tomorrow at a medium spender, so let's say 500 euro a month spent on the game, that's what I will do. That will be my game plan when it comes to heroes. So I'll go with Geronimo, I'll max the widget, I'll max Alonso Gen 2 with the widget, I'll skip the widget on Flint or do 1 or 2 level, I'll max Mia's widgets and stuff like that. So that's these 3 lists to kind of guide your decision. And they are made in a way that you always have a good march for solo, and you always have a decent march as well for going, in arena in exploration. So you can find them on my Discord. Join the Discord. Consider joining the Discord. Consider joining the channel as well, subscribing. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.